And Tampa Motormouth in the zone behind the microphone, all crazy all the time. Starting off today with how about a blockbuster trade in the NBA? That's right, folks. While the Tigers were doing their best to continue to suck in the World Series, NBA had a bit of a bombshell going down. If you thought the Thunder was going to rumble this year, well, maybe not as much rumble, maybe a little bit more tumble from Adrian Wojnarowski. Hopefully I said that right. We'll say it again one more time. Adrian Wojnarowski from Yahoo Sports, and then also an NBA insider for the NBA Sports Network, as this broke basically at about 11 o'clock p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time last night. Oklahoma City Thunder has traded James Harden to the Houston Rockets. League sources tell Y Sports the Rockets sent Kevin Martin, Jeremy Lamb, and future draft considerations to the Thunder, sources tell. Of course, along with the all-star guard James Harden, the Thunder will send Cole Aldridge, Laser Hayward, and Daquan Cook to the Rockets. So how about that? A little bit of a bombshell. So you got to wonder what Thunder fans are thinking this morning, if just like the Durantula tweeted out, wow. And you're guessing when he did that. That's about all he could say. Kids, he's not the boss. He may be the face of the franchise, but he's not the boss. So what do you think? Thunder out of it, pretty much like the Magic with the Dwight Howard gun, or Thunder may have a couple more pieces in place than the Magic so they can still give a shot, or have they just signed away, as I saw somebody else tweet, the conference title to the Lakers? Well, we'll just have to see how that plays out. And as I alluded to, the Tigers, yes, that's right. While you slept, I'm now 3-0 for my fate. 0-3. Hang on. I'm 0-3 for my fantasy jelly bean challenge because I had the Tigers run line. Cough, cough. That means they have to win by more than 2 runs. Yeah. Over cough, hack, and Tigers straight up jelly bean line. Cough, cough, hack, 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 cough. Choke. Yeah, that's what the Tigers are doing right now. Choking, or the San Francisco Giants are just that good. Of course, Tigers 88 win team, Giants 94 win team. Of course, the path that both end up taking. In LCS, the Giants ended up defeating the Cardinals, and that slobber knockers. The Giants came back 3 straight to win. Cardinals were due for a collapse, you just knew. Then you had the NLDSs respectively 3-2 over the pesky Nats. They just swatted them away for the Cardinals, and the Giants, of course, beat the Cincinnati Reds 3-2 in 2 decent series right there, almost going the distance. And, of course, in the wild card game, Cardinals ended up winning that one at the Atlanta Braves. Just a little bit of controversy as far as a certain fly ball rule. That was the most interesting infield fly ball ever. Then, of course, on the other side of the equation, with the World Series ALCS, Tigers sweeping out the Yankees. Ironic symmetry if the Tigers are to be swept themselves tonight. Then, of course, New York and Baltimore. That one almost went the distance. ALDS, that one also went the distance with Detroit and Oakland. Then, of course, the Orioles over the choking Texas Rangers in the American League wildcard game. And 4-0 series sweeps. My first thought was, man, that has to be really unusual, but not so much as way back. You just have to go to the 2008 World Series. Unfortunately, the Rays and Philadelphia Phillies, that was almost a sweep just by one game. The one game the Rays won at the Trop. 2007 World Series was a world sweep. Red Sox said bye-bye to the Rockies. And 2005 World Series, Chicago White Sox bye-bye to the Houston Astros when they were actually good. 2004, a year before, Boston Red Sox, Cardinals, bye-bye Cards. And then the 1999 and 1998 World Series, respectively. Yankees, both, one time they swept the Braves, the other the Padres. So 4-0 sweeps, kids. Not as unlikely as one would think. You would hope. The more unlikely thing seems to be actual competitiveness, like a close Super Bowl, as opposed to a Super Bowl that's the other team is ahead by 4 touchdowns by the halftime. Everyone's just watching for the commercials. So anyway, I'll post my Fantasy Jelly Bean Challenge up there on the Facebook Sheffield page. Take a look as seeing any early Wheat 8 inactives. Wheat 8. Hey, it's not Week 8. It's Wheat 8. How are you doing today? It's Wheat 8. What's going on? How's your wheat doing? Yeah, so already 2, 1, 10-14, and 10-12. Ahmad Bradshaw expected to play. Adam Schefter reports that running back Ahmad Bradshaw, foot questionable, is expected to play for the New York Giants per Schefter through Twitter Sunday morning. Given Ahmad Bradshaw's history of playing, Bradshaw may have his workload more closely managed than usual, meaning potentially fewer carries. But considering both his level of production as well as the matchup, Cowboys have allowed 34 fantasy points to opposing running backs the past 2 weeks combined. Bradshaw should be a fine RB2 for Week 8. And of course, Jordy Nelson, unlikely to play. Just 2 minutes later, 10:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Adam Schefter once again reports that Jordy Nelson, hamstring questionable, is unlikely to play for the Green Bay Packers. For Schefter via Twitter on Sunday morning, Nelson plans to test hamstring in pregame warm-ups before making final decision, but he's unlikely to play today versus Jags. Nelson's status sounds like a bit of a precautionary move, but fantasy owners need to plan accordingly. Find a viable fill-in. Packers game is a 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, so we'll have the inactive reports on Nelson about 75 to 90 minutes in advance of that, but consider this a plus for other Packers wideouts like Randall Cobb and James Jones. And some of the names that are watching early games like Danny Amendola, Donald Brown, Rob Gronk, Brandon Lloyd, Jordy Nelson, Isaac Redmond, Trent Richardson, Wes Welker, Titus Young, who I've already benched just as a questionable. That means he'll probably go off and get like 40 points. Late games, Ahmad Bradshaw, of course, previously mentioned, Felix Jones. Then the night game, New Orleans and Denver. That one is going to be good. Jimmy Graham. So that's what we have here. And of course, humongous thoughts and prayers out to Litmore, as yesterday, just anyone who was watching that injury, and legs are not supposed to go that way. Just somebody was posted on Facebook about, well, LCL, and I love when you're trying to get to a web page, you type it in and it takes you somewhere else that you weren't expecting to go. Yay. Don't you just love when that happens? And we go to college football. There's nothing about it anywhere. Oh, here we go. I was about to say. As, of course, South Carolina. And I'm sure you saw the injury about 5 gajillion times yesterday. But South Carolina star Marcus Littmore was taken to a hospital. It's from the ESPN college football site. Taken to the hospital, is out indefinitely because of injury to his right knee. Suffered against Tennessee on Saturday. Littmore was running through the left side when he was struck around the knees by Volunteers defensive back Eric Gordon. Littmore's right leg whipping around and slamming against the turf. South Carolina traders immediately rushed to his side, keeping Lattimore, flat on his back as the junior attempted to sit up and see the injury. Just tried to tell him to stay mentally strong, said receiver Ace Sanders, whose eyes teared up when discussing Lattimore. I saw the look in his eye when he was on the ground, and he was really heartbroken. Lattimore was taken off the field and Clark went to the hospital for further evaluation. Gamecocks coach Steve Spurrier didn't give details of the injury, only was every bit as devastating as the one to Lattimore's left knee last fall to Mississippi State. Lattimore had surgery to repair ligaments and cartilage and then needed 6 months of rehabilitation and recovery before he was cleared to return to action. The school announced after South Carolina's 38-35 win that Lattimore was out indefinitely. And on one of the Facebook friends were talking about, because they said MCL, PCL, ACL, and then LCL, and I've never even heard of when you're discussing injuries, LCL, because usually it's an MCL or it's an ACL. But I'm going, LCL? This is one of the first times I think I've ever seen LCL actually used. So, huge thoughts and prayers out to Marcus Lattimore, and have this happen to a second knee, first knee. You work your butt off to get back just so you can play, and then, oof. So, just humongous thoughts and prayers, as that's just one of those things that I know that everyone else is talking up the storm, this and that and that, and it's just one of those things that just kind of leaves you speechless in sports. It really is modern gladiators. Seriously, it is. It's modern gladiators. Anywho, I believe that's about everything that's going on that popped up into the Motormouth radar, the Tampa Motormouth radar here. Thoughts and prayers also, everybody in the path of Sandy, the crazy storm that everyone is trying to flip out about the mainstream media. But if you want an accurate, non-hype source to follow the storm, just go to Facebook. If you're not a part of Facebook, you might have to sign up. Just look for Dennis Phillips, spelled D-E-N-I-S, only one N, Phillips, P-H-I-L-I-P-S, W-F-T-S. Find his page, like it, and dude is like a super friend monitoring the trouble alert. Never sleeps, is always on the latest advisories, the latest GFS runs, Euro runs, all the runs, and just, he's a one-man weather machine. Seriously. So if you want non-hype coverage of Sandy, he's the man. So that's it for me. Go fantasy team. Bucks already won, so Buck fans, this is an easy Sunday for you. You get to sort of kick back and cheer for the Denver Broncos playing the Saints, and cheer and all the other teams who are playing, Panthers, and Falcons, and all that good stuff. And you just get to kind of kick back and pay attention to your fantasy team. And what do you know? What do you know? And I'm still going to go with the Tigers tonight, because I said Giants in 5, so that means the Tigers have to win at least. They have to win one game. In order for my Giants in 5 production to come true, Tigers have to win one game. So they do it. They do it game 4, but then they get swept game 5. So that's what I'm saying. So that covers everything up. It kind of a bit of a crazy day. The very, very tragic injury to Marcus Lattimore that we've all seen, I'm sure, about 500,000 times by now. The incredibly out of nowhere trade, it was over very small amounts of money, apparently something to do with the Thunder weren't sure what the salary cap was going to be the following year, because it was something small like $8 million or $4 million, and so many of us would be like, yeah, we'll take the $4 million that Harden didn't want. He doesn't want it. We'll take it, right? Everyone's got a bank account that sure could use that kind of cash, right, kids? But of course, the James Harden trade to the Rockets, and the Rockets are going to lift off. As far as the power rankings go, there, I'm sure, even with not one single regular season game played yet, but regular season does begin on Tuesday. Then, of course, the Tigers choking, and here we go, football already. Two projections about the inactives, and got another one. Danny Amendola. He's inactive. No surprise there. Chris Mortensen reports WR Danny Amendola will be inactive for the St. Louis Rams. Mortensen tweeting news approximately 11 a.m. Sunday, though we should have official word next 30-45 minutes. Didn't rank Amendola at all. Duh. Counting for the lengthy, difficult track recovering from his injury. If he had held out hopes he'd return in Week 8, you might want to find alternate arrangements. Nope, and just 3. Last one at 11:03 a.m. as it's Sunday, and that's why I put Minuteish. So, anywho, good luck for your fantasy football teams. Go Tigers! Win one game. Win one game, then lose game 5. Win one game, lose game 5. So it can be Giants in 5. But you're probably not going to cooperate. You're going to probably suck, and you'll go ahead and you'll just lose, and you'll be swept out of the World Series. Thanks for nothing. I would have been only off by 1. So much for everyone going, yeah, Giants in 6 or Giants in 7. Anywho, okay. Well, since I'm rambling some more, and I'll stop rambling now. See you next time.